Welcome to our podcast, A Moment of Boba, where you get to come and join us as we share with one another about our life experiences.
I'm Tina.
I'm PA.
I'm Kalina.
And I'm Finola. Today I'm going to be your host. In our last episode, we talked about what it means to be single. So today, we're going to talk about love relationships. So something that I want to just start off this conversation a little bit lighthearted. So do you remember, quote unquote, your first love or maybe like your first crush?
I do.
Yeah.
I think mine was, I think we met in kindergarten. It was someone from my church. So I started off at this one church that I do not remember, and then I went to my childhood church, and that's where I met someone the same age as me. And, like, we always, like, teased each other, and I was so shy back then, but he always talked to me, and I was like, oh, my gosh, he keeps talking to me. And, like, we had, like, yearly church camping trips, and one year, like, years later, I ended up, my family, we ended up deciding to move churches, so that means I had to say bye to him, and I was so sad, because I never confessed. So I decided to do it on the last day of the camping trip because that was when the last time I was going to see him. Yeah. And I remember there was a swing set, so just 2 swings, and we were each on one. And and it was like the sun was setting. I remember like it was getting dark. It was the last night actually. And then I have something to tell you. He's like, oh, well, tell me now because my family and us, we're leaving right away in the morning. Because usually like, the other families, we stay later in the day and then we'll all leave, but they're gonna leave right away. And I was like, and I couldn't tell him, and because there were little girls by me, and I didn't want to say it. So the next day, we went. I got up super early, and I found his family. I think they were eating watermelon, and I was like, "Let's go back to the swings." And then I was like, "I like you." And he's like, "Oh, that's what you wanted to tell me." I was like, "Yeah, but I'm moving away." and then like I left. I was so shy. I left. And then later, I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly, but the little girls came back, and they're like, do you like, oh my gosh, I almost said his name. They're like, okay, let's call him Josh. I don't know. And then they're like, do you like Josh? And I was like, yeah, I do. And they're like, really? Because Josh said he likes you too. And I was like, oh my gosh. But that was the time where I didn't use Facebook or anything, so there was no way of like keeping in contact.
Bro!
Yeah, so first heartbreak, first crush, but we ended up reconnecting again.
Oh, that's good. Are you guys friends now?
Yeah, we were good friends in middle school because that's when I met him again. And now he's married.
What?
Yeah, he's married and he has a daughter.
Dude, that took a huge turn.
Yeah, so he was a good memory of mine back in childhood.
Dang. I don't really remember much because I was in first grade when I had my first crush. I think it was first grade. Yeah, and he was not Hmong. I think he was a mixed. He was mixed of, yeah. But I don't remember why I liked him. I think I just thought he was cute, and I think he was like one of those very outgoing dudes in the class, and I was more quiet, and shy. So just seeing that active personality made him very attractive. But yeah, I don't as a first grader, but I don't remember much. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I don't remember his name.
Oh my goodness. My first crush, oh my gosh, is probably when I think back, it's probably started from our childhood friend. I think that's because when I think back, I think that's like the earliest is so it's someone from from my old church. We grew up together, like our families always hung out a lot. So I eventually like had a crush on so when, like in our families, I got very close with the sisters, so we were super close, and I started to have this crush on him for, I guess, a while, because it was like childhood crush. So
Didn't you guys play house?
oh my gosh, can we not go
Wait,
there?
were you the mom and he was the dad?
It was like,
Can we not?
okay, so because there was like, because those 3 families and we all had like boys and girls, so it was
Yeah.
like her and him because they were the same age.
Yeah.
And then the girl,
Together.
his sister with a different boy from another family.
Yeah.
They were like, and we're like, oh, they call it a boyfriend and girlfriend.
You guys, this is I was
Not even.
elementary, very young. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
But I feel like that would be my first crush. Yeah.
Well, for me, mine was also kind of like in kindergarten, but I don't really consider that one. But I'll tell you anyways, and I'll tell the other one. So this one in kindergarten, I kind of liked him. I never expressed it anything. I just thought he was cute, and I thought he was cute for like a long time. But then I don't. One time in Hmong class, we were the teachers gave us parrots to color. And so I was like, oh, I don't want to be basic, so I'm not gonna use rainbow colors. I'm gonna use like brown and black. And I colored mine. But then the teachers were like, they went around the class and was like, held up our paper and was like, who thinks this one is pretty? And then, obviously everybody used like rainbow colors, so everybody like rose their hands. And then when they got to me, they're like, who thinks this is pretty? And like 3 people rose their hands.
Oh my god.
And I was like, whatever. And then I think the guy that I said that was cute, he was like, that's ugly. Like, why is it brown? I'm like, you know what? Your personality's ugly. But yeah, so that quickly ended. And then my my first real crush was probably 3rd, 4th grade, where I really liked this guy for a really long time, like 3-4 years. And I'm pretty sure he knew it because I kind of made it. I didn't make it clear. Like, when you like someone, you just always look at them. You always just secretly talk about them with your friends. I think he noticed that.
Oh my god.
And so, yeah. But then when I finally got the courage to quote, ask him, like, not ask him out, but I was just like, oh, do you want to be friends? Check yes or no. Like, I gave a piece of paper to his little sister to give to him. And I was watching him because, at our church, we have, like, that glass window. He was downstairs and I was upstairs, so I was watching the whole thing.
Is someone from church?
Yeah, it's someone from church.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, and I was like, do you like me as a friend? Yes or no? And he checked yes. And he's like, do you have a girlfriend? He checked yes.
Oh.
And I cried. I cried to my mom.
Wait, what grade was this?
Oh, this was like, I don't know, but I've liked him for a long time. So like elementary, almost to middle school.
I'm trying to figure out who it was. But
I don't know.
I will tell you off of the mic. But yes, if you didn't hear it in the first episode of February, I said that I cried, and this is the second.
Oh.
This is the first time that I've cried over a boy.
Oh,
But the one in the previous episode, that was like the one that I really cried, like for the first time, where I really felt hurt.
Heartbreak.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Love letters. I remember, I lived in the suburbs, kindergarten to 5th grade, and in kindergarten, I always had a crush on this dude. Let's call him
Josh again.
I know, I was gonna say Josh. Let's call him Kevin. And so, but there was 2 Kevins, so we called them Kevin, let's say Kevin L and Kevin K, okay? So Kevin L was the first guy that I knew as Kevin, and then once we hit 5th grade, I think 5th grade, that's where, so we were like one big district, but 2 different cities. So Nick, I'm going to use their real last name letter, but Nick D. Okay, Nick D.
Them Kevin.
Okay, Kevin D and Kevin L. Okay.
You said Kevin K. Kevin L, Kevin K.
Okay. So it was 2 cities and 1 big district.
Uh-huh.
So in my city, the Kevin was Kevin D. And then when we were in 5th grade, we merged, the elementaries merged to middle schools. So then I was with Kevin D and Kevin L. And then, but I always liked Kevin D. Like, oh my gosh. He's married with a kid too. 2 kids. Whoa, yeah. So all my crushes are like married. But
so Kevin K is actually Kevin D because Paying changed it.
Yes, yeah. I changed it. But yeah, but Kevin L, we were like best friends. We're like always close. We're always like back up, like, you know, like fighting each other. And then I thought he liked me. And so I think he did. Maybe he said something, but I was still into Kevin D, right? So then I decided to write Kevin L a letter. Not a love letter, but like not even a rejection letter, more of like I drew so my sister was into drawing anime at the time, so I drew myself in a wedding dress.
Oh my god.
I'm curious to where this is going. Oh my god.
And I was like, okay, I was a really mean kid back then. But I said something like, you like me, but I like somebody else. And this is how I'm gonna look like on my wedding day, but you won't see that. And I wrote, from your not so girlfriend, PA. And I was like, since we're in different classes, he was in the classroom across from me. I couldn't give it to him yet, and I didn't want other people to see me giving him the letter. So I was like, I'll wait. I'm gonna hide it by the stairs in the hallway. So I don't know what was going through. Recycled or something. I don't know what was going through my head, but I left. I remember I put it in an envelope and wrote his name on the front, and then so I left it on the stairs, like right where the crack is, you know, where the steps are like this, and I put it right here. And so if you walk down it, you won't see it. If you walk up, maybe you won't see it. I don't know. But I left it there so that during like lunchtime or something, I could give it to him or put it in his desk. But then a girl found it, and she saw that it was his name. So you know what she did? She gave it to the teacher, his teacher. And you know what the teacher did? He read it out loud in front of the whole class.
That's so rude.
Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I put my name. I just said not from your not so girlfriend. I just put that, but he knew it was me. And then so he read it in front of the whole class.
And embarrassing.
And the teacher's like, excuse me, Kevin L., who wrote you this letter? And he was like, I think he knew it was me, but he was like, I don't know, is that even for me? Like, he's that type of jokester, the class clown.
Yeah.
So that's me with my so I stopped writing love letters since.
That's embarrassing for him. Like, why would you read that?
That happened to me in 5th grade.
What?
No. Okay, I wrote a, I guess, quote love letter to my crush at that time, and this was like at the end of the day. And oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed by this story, but I'm gonna share it anyway. And so we were like playing around, and I was too shy to give it to him. So I gave it to my friend, and my friend was trying to give it to him. They were sitting at the same table, so I was like, I don't know what happened, but like the teacher saw and he took it as like she was trying to like pass it to him. So he took it and like he read it out loud in front of the whole class, because like it said, I don't know why it said, like went quiet. And as he was reading it, he was just like shaking his head. He's like, nope, don't do this kind of thing anymore. He like recycled it, and I was like, awkwardly, like, dude.
Wait, you were confessing in that letter or something?
No, I don't think so, because I think at that time, we already knew that like we had a crush on each other, so like it wasn't like that.
Let's make it an official letter.
No, thank goodness, though it wasn't that kind of letter. But I think it was just like, oh, like, how are you doing? How this is my weekend? What was your week? Kind of thing. Or like you're cute and blah blah blah, that kind of stuff.
Did you write your name at the end?
Yeah.
And he said, did the teacher say your name?
I think it was pretty obvious, because like I was talking to my friend, and like people in the class knew too, like who had a crush on who, because you know, elementary kids, they talk a lot, little kid drama stuff, and so, and like I wrote to dear this person, and so like it's pretty obvious who it was from the beginning anyway. So it was, I remember like my face feeling so warm, and like, oh, I was so embarrassed. I was like, gosh, can I just not be here right now? And it was like, yeah, it was so bad.
Dang, It's so hard. Teachers so intense. See, this is why I don't like school. You
Yeah.
can't trust your teachers.
I know. I feel like I probably wouldn't. Like, I would probably like joke with my kids about like, oh, we have a crush on this guy, but I don't think I would out somebody like that.
Yeah,
you
to
know?
invade their privacy.
Yeah, like that's
Bro,
very
no.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
But I think most of us like we had crushes when we were very young.
Yeah.
So now that we are older, what kind of guy are you guys looking for, or like are into? I guess what attracts you guys?
Well, I kind of said in the last episode, like a big family guy. And I remember in college when, so my friend groups are like a good mix of guys and girls. And sometimes we would have like honesty hour, as we would call it. And one of the questions was, what do you look for in a significant other? And one of the guys said someone who treats his mom well. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And so, like, hearing, like, guys say things like that, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's, like... And, like, I never really saw that guy as, like an option, you could say. But ever since he said that, I was like...
Maybe.
You know. But, yeah, just, like, guys who see, like, who are more than what they see. Because this dude's, like, a huge jokester. Like, he's always, like, messing around. And sometimes he just says... He's, like, the type that says mean things, but you don't get offended. Yeah, so that's him. So I never saw him as anything more than a jokester, but ever since he showed, like, a more serious side, I really liked that. So where they can be, like joking, and they can also be serious is, like, what I really like.
Why are you guys looking at me?
No, I'm just...
I mean, I've said it multiple times, but yeah, I just really look for honesty in a person. If you go back to our, what is it, the 16 personalities, where it said, like, in the relationship, like, integrity is a big thing for me. But yeah, just, again, I'll reiterate my 3 H's, which is humble, honest, and hardworking. Yeah, and yeah, it'd just be nice if he is like a family man, if he loves the Lord, fears the Lord, serves in church. And it'd be nice if he could play an instrument and
sing with you.
Yes, and I would hope that he is taller than me. So
yeah, I feel like because we do spend a lot of time with our families, and like even with like my mom's side of the family, we always have like our family family gatherings where we just come for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so, like, if I were to be with someone, I would want to be with someone who would be comfortable with spending a lot of time with my family and getting to know all of my little cousins, because we are the oldest ones out of all our relatives.
Yeah.
Oh, not the oldest. We're like, but older than those other ones. And I think, because for me, since I am a writer, I would like it if I end up with somebody who likes to read. Writing is important too. But like kind of someone who likes to read, I guess, and also write, so that they are able to give me constructive criticism on my writing and be honest about it. Instead of, because a lot of people tend to kind of sugarcoat and be like, oh my gosh, like, you're really good. And it's nice to hear that. But at the same time, it's like, I want to hear the criticism of like, oh, I feel like you can also improve on this too, though, although it was good. And then, I don't know. Yeah, and I feel like also, sorry, other like the other general stuff of being like nice and kind and honest. Yeah. Like all those general things are good too.
I've realized that, like, us girls, we're very specific with what we want. And guys, I hate it when they say this. Like, when they're asked, what kind of girl do you like? And they say, or what kind of girl do you want? And they go, I want someone with a good personality. What does that mean? Everybody has a personality. Just what kind do you want? Funny, smart, or like quirky or whatever?
I'm trying to think back before I met TJ, like what kind of guy I was looking for. I can't think of anything. But I think probably like most of the things you guys said, like family oriented, someone who goes to church and all of that. But also I think now that I am, like, from being in a relationship, I also realized a few other things that like I never thought about, but like I appreciate. And I was like, wow, I didn't know this is like what I needed in my life. So like one thing would be TJ, my fiance, he's very honest and like he never sugarcoats anything. Like he tells you what you need to hear, and sometimes I hate it. I mean, sometimes all the time I hate it, but then at the end of the day, I am like, wow, like that is actually something that I needed to hear, and like he's very honest about it, and I'm like, that's something that I'm grateful for, even though most of the time, like, gosh. What do you? Oh, like it irritates me, but then I'm like, it's good for me too at the same time, because sometimes like if I like vent to him and he was like, well, like think about it this way, or like did you do this and this, and I'm like wow, like you're right, like I'm kind of dumb now. I sound dumb, you know. But then like yeah, I like it's like a lesson for me to learn. Like wow, like I didn't know I need this, and I'm very grateful for that. But I'm just like, man, I think when like in a relationship, it's you kind of see more things that you didn't think about that you were looking for.
I feel like, oh, where was I going?
Oh my gosh, I blanked out.
Yeah, okay. See, because also it feels like kind of from what like TJ and Finola has, they have like more of a friendship. Not that they don't seem like lovers, but you know they have like this balance between of like friendship and being in love, and I think that is like kind of what that balance, what we need to find, kind of. Yeah. So like somebody who is able to be our friend, but then like kind of to go a little bit beyond from being a friend.
Yeah, I love hearing couples talk about their relationship, and I love it when they go like, you know, it's so amazing that I fell in love with my best friend, and I was just like, oh, that's so great. You guys are like, because like yeah, they started off as friends, like legit friends. You know, like couples who like get to know each other for 3 months and they start dating. Yeah. But like these people, like they started off as friends, like as kids, and they grew up, and they're like, oh, you know what? I think we have something here. And then when they like get married, they're just like, you know, it's so great to fall in love with your best friend, and like, oh, it's so cute.
I think that's why it makes it hard sometimes for people who like just met and they start to get into a relationship, because then they start to find out other things about each other, or like they're not comfortable doing, like I don't know, like how, because you know how like versus if you were friends, you're more comfortable about other like doing these things. And then so when you're in a relationship with them without actually like being friends first, it's kind of like, I feel like personally it would have been awkward. Like I wouldn't be as comfortable, but I don't know. It might be different for other people, but
yeah. Because I was gonna say how it's kind of because when you begin a relationship with someone who you're not friends with, you just want to like present your best self all the time, and then that just gets tiring. And then once you realize that best self you're presented can't be presented all the time,
kind of like putting up an image, like a good image.
Then you kind of see all the flaws, and you're like, wait, but like before they were like this, and then now why are they becoming like this? And that's because we are trying to build ourselves up to like fit their image of that perfect person that people want.
Makes me think about like some dramas where like you weren't the person that I first met or whatever, you know, or that kind of thing, like you weren't the same person, you're like a whole different person now. But then like what if in truth like you didn't really get to know who they are actually, you're just like seeing the outside of them, like of like how they want to present to other people. But that's what it made me think of when you were talking about that.
And I remember I would ask, like, when I had single friends, I would be like, oh, do you want to date someone who's already a friend or a stranger? Like when you go on what are they called, those apps? Oh, dating apps. Those apps. What apps? Yeah, dating apps. Like, would you rather meet someone like that and just try and hit it off right off the bat, or someone that you're like, you realize you're catching feelings for? And for me, it's always been like friends first, just because when I see someone as a friend, I don't like try to impress them, you know, like if I don't want to talk, I'm like, I don't want to talk. Or like sometimes like when I text my guy friends and they just keep the conversation going, I just send memes so that like I feel bad, but like I just keep sending memes because I'm tired of texting and typing and stuff. And like if someone like I guess falls in love with you when you're acting like, oh, I don't want to do that, like no, why do you think I want to do that, you know, where they see all these like what people would say as negative sides to you, then like if they like that about you, then that's like great. That's why I like the friend aspect of it. But some people, they do like the stranger part because, you know, you get to fall in love with them with every new thing that you get to learn about them. So I can see it from that side too. Just personally for me, I'd rather be friends and like, because I don't know, I like that feeling where you're like, oh my gosh, why is he attractive all of a sudden?
Wait a second, do I like him?
And like I've liked my friends before, and I have told them, because for me, when I like someone and I want them to know, I just let them know. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out, but like I'm still gonna keep being friends with them, and vice versa. If someone likes me, I'll still keep being friends with them.
This kind of reminds me of the game that we used to play when we were younger, like MASH.
Oh
my god.
Who are you gonna end up with? Where are you gonna live? What kind of car?
Oh my gosh, we did a lot of those.
Yeah.
I feel like
none of them came true.
I feel like there's like another version of like MASH too. I can't remember.
Yeah, there's another one. I forgot what it's called, but someone taught it to us.
Yeah, because I was like, there was like two different ones that you could do. It was the MASH one and this other one that you did. But oh my gosh, I remember doing those as a kid.
Yeah, and they would say choose your top 4 guys, and whenever I got someone I didn't want, I was like, oh, just stop.
Me too.
You know, like when they're tallying, you kind of want to try to calculate to make sure it's the guy you like.
Oh my gosh, I did that on the app.
Or like,
oh yeah.
I was like, or like if you get the wrong person, like, okay, I'm gonna do this again. Like, we're gonna go another round.
Until I get this person.
Yeah.
But I remember there's like also like a card one where our friend Tiffany, she did it to us. It's like
your fortune, like your love fortune.
Like,
I do that to my friends all the time.
It's so fun.
Yeah, where you have to tap like their letter of their names and like blow on it, and then there were so many times where it was like, so you like this guy, but I see that there's someone interfering between you and him.
And
like,
that's
so true.
I know.
But it was just all in my head. I was like, you just don't like me.
Literally.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
My favorite one. So I did that with my friends at college all the time. They thought I was like doing tarot cards. I was like, no, it's just a deck of cards, man. And like, it's kind of like cheating, you could say, because I kind of already know them.
Yeah.
But to play around with them, I did tell them that I kind of knew. So one time this guy did it. Let's name him
Kevin.
Josh. Let's call him John. So John, he was a cousin of a friend of mine, and so we decided to do it. And like, okay, so he liked one of our friends, but she didn't like him. So he tried like liking other girls to see if like it would get his mind off of her. So in my deck of cards, it says that he was facing the chick he likes, but next to him are other chicks. And I was like, apparently, John, it says that you like this one person, but they don't see you that way. So you've been trying to put your attention in other people, but it's not working. And he did not say anything. He just looked at me, looked at the cards, and I was like, so is it true?
When you already knew it was true.
Yeah, and he was just like, anybody else want to go? And I was like, oh, okay, I guess it is true then. This is something funny, yeah.
Funny.
Dude, that reminds me of like when you meet new people, but you already know their name.
Oh my god.
Hi, I'm Tina. What's your name? Yep, I already know your name.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh. He's like, does anyone else want to go?
He's like, he called me out.
That's so funny though. He's probably like, my gosh, I need to do some self-reflection.
Yeah.
Well, since we kind of already also talked about this when we were mentioning like what we're looking for in a guy, but then when you're in a relationship, like are there any like expectations that you have? Tina's nodding her head.
Yes. Yeah. I mean like it's just like the basic common sense stuff. Like you need to be respectful of me and my family and vice versa. You need to be the one that can lead me in our relationship / marriage. Yeah. I think those are like my top 2.
Yeah. I would agree with that too, because I think respect for family and friends, I think, are like a big one. Because like if obviously TJ does the thing, but like if I'm just saying from a perspective, if I wasn't with him, but like if he wasn't like respectful towards my friends or doesn't want to be around my family or friends, then I'd probably like a red flag for me. Like maybe this is not the guy that I want to be with. But I think that probably would be my number one thing. Like everything else would probably just fall into place as it is. But yeah, I don't know about cleanupping.
So like by relationship expectations, do you kind of feel like what we want?
Kind of like what you want in a guy, but like also like, I'm trying to think like
Deal breakers? Oh, no.
It could be that too, because then like, I don't know. Like, just however, I mean, like, just like, what do you think?
What do you want in a relationship?
Yeah. Like, do you also, like, maybe, like, expect him to, like, I don't know, open the door for you, like, be a gentleman,
chivalry,
hold your hands,
oh my god,
because she doesn't like physical touch, which is why I'm saying that.
I'm not a physical person, so it's okay if it's not too physical.
Or, like, maybe even, like, if he should pay for all the dates.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I can't. I'd feel really bad.
Same.
Yeah, I think it's just as long as we know we are on, like, the same page and we see each other as, like, equals.
Yes.
Yeah, and also because I think maybe not towards, like, marriage, but, like, if this was just a, like, relationship, then I would kind of expect for him to respect my privacy and my independent life, because since we aren't married yet and we aren't having an actual life together yet, then I hope not like get out of not mind your own business, but if it's kind of I want to be in my own space at the moment, let me be in my own space and be alone. It's not that I don't love you, but I just need my alone time.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I think for me, I kind of see it as like puzzle pieces where like we're not the same. Like we're never going to be the same, but we are going to be the perfect fit, if you guys get what I'm saying. So like things where I'm lacking in, which is anything that has to do with like cars, like bills, mortgages, all that stuff. Like I'm so clueless, and I want someone who will be able to like help me with that and like are able to fill the things that I'm lacking. I'm gonna try still, but like I know I'm gonna be lacking. I'm not gonna be perfect. And I also want someone who's very patient because I have trouble with like my mouth, you could say. I feel like lately I've been arguing a lot, and sometimes my parents are like, oh boy, like your future husband, he needs to be a patient one. So like I do try to be patient, but it would be like nice that if we're not like both hot-headed or stuff like that. So just like that perfect puzzle piece.
I totally feel that, because I think about it and I'm kind of like, it would be nice to have somebody who can fill in spots where I'm not good at, because usually like Nola, she's really good at meeting new people and being kind of outgoing and friendly.
Really?
And for me, I'm not like that. Like when I meet somebody new, I'm like, hi, nice to meet you, and it's just like silence.
Yeah,
afterwards. So it'd be nice if I were to be with somebody. They are the ones who are able to kind of engage in conversation better than me.
Yeah, one of my coworkers, we actually talked about this like when we were just at work and it was very slow. We were thinking like, do you think if you're an introvert, would you want to be with an introvert because you guys both like to stay in and not talk to people? Or did you want someone to bring out the best in you or whatever? And for me, I kind of like, not like I could see myself as introverted extrovert. Like I don't mind going out, having fun, but it's a lot more draining for me than being alone. And so I want someone who can push me to be adventurous, spontaneous, and like if I just want to stay home, he's like, nope, we're going right now. And then he'll take me, I don't know, to go do archery or something, you know? Like I like those kind of guys who are just really very fun and like very spontaneous. I think it's so exciting. It's like very exciting.
Just like having guys who can make you grow as a person. That would be really good.
Yeah, because there was a guy. We were friends in middle school, and we reconnected again in college. Not in college, but like during my college years, and he only wanted to hang out at night because he had late work shifts, and I was like, I don't go out past 9. And so he was like, no, let's go. We can just go to a park nearby. And I was like, okay. And it was fun. Like, we would just go sit in the McDonald's like parking lot, and he would give me his favorite items to eat, or like, I think it was like a double cheeseburger with Big Mac sauce. I was like, oh my gosh, it was so good. And he knew I liked The Office, so he found a list of The Office episodes, and he was like, what are you feeling? Are you feeling sad? You want something funny? I was like, I want something really funny. And in the list, it had like all the funniest episodes. Yeah, so he played it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually really nice, because I wasn't expecting it, even though we were just in a McDonald's parking lot.
Yeah.
But things like that. Simple,
Wait, so
but
what
fun.
happened? What happened to that guy then?
Nothing. Yeah, I just decided like even though he was adventurous and spontaneous, like how I liked, he wasn't like, he would only want to meet in person. Like, when I want to text him or anything like that, he would never want to text back. Or one time he did kind of stand me up. Like, I was waiting for like an hour or two, and he didn't tell me until I had to like call or text him, and he's like, oh, I'm actually sick. And I was like, oh, it would have been nice to know. Yeah, so just communication, like communication is a big thing too, but he was fun and stuff, but he could not communicate with me.
I think communicating is a huge one.
We forgot about the most important.
Yeah, I know. Another important
Talking to each other.
Yeah, expectation. We need to communicate how we're feeling, like about a lot of things. I think that's a huge role.
I think,
go ahead.
Oh yeah, just like another thing, like I just really enjoy funny people. And you know what? I kind of enjoy like lame dad jokes. Like it's so lame. It's so lame that it's so funny. And like I have this, and what is it called? It's like the lines that people use to try to get people.
Pickup
lines. I have a pickup line. I won't say it, but like I'm waiting until I find someone, and I'm gonna use it on him
and see if we're the one.
Yeah, I just love it. It's so cringy, but it's so lame, but it's so funny.
I love dad jokes or puns. TJ thinks they're lame, but he still laughs at them.
Yeah. I don't think it's funny or cool, like if they're actually trying to pick you up. Cool and like, like if they're like, hey, like this is so funny, but like it's not. But if they just say it jokingly. Or when they use pickup lines seriously, like that, like nah, like you can say it for fun, but if you're trying to like get with me, you know it's not gonna work. Line. But yeah, also I have another little story. When I went to France, my cousin, like a distant adopted cousin or something, he was like 15, like he was a little boy, but my group of cousins, they took me out because they're like, oh, like she's from America, like let's take her out. And so they dragged me. They didn't drag me, but they took me to like bars, and I was like, I don't drink. I don't know what to do with myself. Also, I had to poop really bad because we ate pepper.
Oh my gosh.
So like, I like exploded in the bathroom. My two cousins came back and they were like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, please just leave. Just leave the bathroom. But yeah, after I came back and we were done with the bars, it was raining, and I didn't have my jacket or something. So then my cousin, he took off his jacket, gave it to me to cover myself, and he ran through the rain to the car. And I was like, dang, my heart is like thumping. But you are 15. You're my cousin.
Wow, that's
but I was like,
a guy like that.
Yeah, like that was the sweetest thing that anyone has ever done to me. Aww. And then I was just like, the classic.
Yeah.
The movie.
Yeah. Those are like heart-fluttering moments that I just love to read about.
Those heart-fluttering. I remember college, like, okay, so you know when like you're in high school, you come back home, there's really not much to it. Your parents pick you up, you go home. Mm-hmm. But in college, like when I was in a dorm, I went to my friends' like on-campus apartments, on-campus dorms late at night, and it was fine because we were like right next to each other, so it wasn't that scary. And I would always go back to my dorm by myself at night, and yeah, it does get scary, but like I got used to it. But then one day, one of my guy friends, he was like, I'll walk you to your dorm, you're on the way. I was like, oh, okay. And I went inside the room. I was like, see ya, because he was outside my dorm hall,
Yeah.
and the doors are closed, and he was like, no, go into your room. I'm gonna wait until you get in there. And
Oh my gosh,
I was
love
like,
it.
oh my gosh, no one's ever done this for me. He's like, well, he was like, you need to like have someone to watch over you. You know, you can't be alone. And I was like, oh my gosh, stop this.
Keep going.
Yeah, and then like actually he did keep going. Like I remember I was kind of feeling down, and I went to bed early. I never go to bed early unless I'm not feeling the best. And so I was just laying in bed, and it was like 1 a.m, and he texted, and he was just like, "Are you hungry?" I was like, "It's literally 1 a.m." He was like, "Well, come over to." He was at our friend's dorm. He's like, "Come over, like I'm cooking right now, and you should come eat." And he was cooking his favorite dish. It was like deer meat or something. And so I got up and I went, and he was like, "Is it good? Is it good?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, a man that can cook."
Yeah, and a man that can care about my feelings.
Yeah, so he like let me come and eat. I was like, I don't know. I just love those little.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about it in our other episode,
Yes.
but that's one of my love languages. Like,
Wow.
oh.
That'd probably make me cry.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my
So
gosh.
there was this post that I saw on, I think it was Facebook, and it said like, we fight, we fix, we stay, and that's maturity. And then I saw someone say that like, and also toxic too. And so I was like thinking about it. I was like, oh, I think that like it would be interesting to know what you guys think about that. And that was like all the content that that post said. It was like, we fight, we fix, we stay, and that's maturity. And I was like, is it toxic? Like, what do you guys think? Is that would you say?
I feel like it's a case by case kind of thing.
Agreed.
Because like obviously if you're constantly fighting and you try to fix it but it doesn't get fixed and you're gonna fight again, like you know, like if it gets to an extreme, like it's time to leave.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like it's your choice, and like what you hold to, like your virtues, like what you believe in. Like if you don't believe in divorce, then like, because you gotta stay.
Yeah, because I was like, I was thinking that like, if you don't fix or try to fix, you know, whatever conflict you're going through, then obviously, that's probably toxic. If you don't talk about it, like if you fight and then you just make up without saying anything, without like saying what happened, then I think that's like something you gotta, like, again, communication. Like you're not really communicating what you're both feeling.
Yeah.
So that's
And I feel like people might not see fix as like the same definition. Like when I think of fix, I literally mean fix, not sweep it under the rug. Like, let's talk about it. Okay, we're over it. Yeah. Okay, we're good. Like that. Like I feel like that's kind of sweeping under the rug. But when I think of fix, I mean like, why was this an issue in the beginning? Like, what did I say to make you feel like this? And like, do I say that a lot? Is there anything else that I've said that made you feel like this? Because this one instance is where it blew you over the edge, where we're having this argument. Is there any others so I could fix it?
Yeah.
And I think just being willing to fix it in that case and not just try and get over it. And this can go with couples or even friendships, because I've seen friendships like break over things that they were like, oh, it's not worth it, like let's just not talk about it, like things like that. That's not fixing it, that's just ignoring it, and that's just gonna bottle up, because whenever there's another small thing that's gonna happen, that old thing that you haven't fixed gets brought up. And like, this is what I see with a lot of close friends and just a lot of close friend couples. So it's nice, it's kind of like, it's not okay, like it's bad of me to say, but it's nice to see when others do this, so that I could try and like with an outside lens, like okay, this is what I'm seeing, and I don't know if you're seeing this too. But only when they ask me, or if I really feel like they need me to tell them. But and if it's a continuous problem, then you're not fixing it.
Because definitely like honesty would play a big part. If you're not being honest while you're trying to fix it, then nothing would come out of it in the end anyways. And that's what would make it toxic in the end.
And I think this kind of just goes back to, I don't know, this kind of goes back to a lot of things, but like if your partner is cheating and, you know, you get heartbroken or whatever, like, shouldn't they have the right or no, shouldn't like the cheater have the audacity to just, or not audacity, what, the guts to break up with their partner before cheating? Because like if you don't love that person anymore, if you needed something else, break up with that person so that you don't hurt them more. Because like because you're in a relationship, that hurts more. I think to me personally, like if I were ever to get cheated on, I would want to be broken up with, because then I don't have to deal with that. Like I don't need to say that he cheated on me, or but I don't know. That's just me. I think I was gonna say something else, but I forgot.
Yeah, I really hope that if my future guy ever feels like he's not loving me to the point, like he's like not able to love me to the point where it leads him to go find other women to make him satisfied, or if I'm like not satisfying him enough, I just kind of hope that he's able to be like man enough to talk to me about it first. Like, hey, like just so you know, I'm kind of like falling out of love, and like maybe it's not something I did specifically, but it's just how he really feels. Because I don't know about you guys, but like for example, you just like someone, but all of a sudden you just start to not like them, and there's not really a reason for it. You just fall out of love. So, like, I know anybody could feel that way, and so that's what I would appreciate if we ended up to not work out, I would appreciate him to let me know rather than me finding out, like, in a more hurtful way.
Yeah. Or, like, maybe if, like, 'cause I know some people, they cheat too just because, like, oh, like, you're not spending enough time with me or giving enough, like, quote-unquote attention. And I think that's, like, the whole thing, to, again, with communicating that, like, telling your partner how you feel and like maybe changing it so that like, because if you still want to be with them, like you should talk to them instead of like, I cheated on you because you didn't do all this, but I still want to be with you. Like that doesn't make sense. Like then why didn't you talk to them in the first place? Like if you want to be with them still. And that's, I don't know, but which, since we were talking about like cheating, I'm just curious too, like how do you guys feel about like, because when people give other people second chances, sometimes it's negative, but like for that person, they're very optimistic about it, and sometimes it goes well too, and other times it doesn't. But I know like most of the time, I feel like people who give their significant other who cheated on them, they gave them a second chance, and they get a lot of like negativity back. If that makes sense.
Like a lot of backlash from other people, from people outside.
It's like, why would you give him another chance? That's so dumb. Like he's gonna do it again. But I kind of feel like that's kind of
I have definitely been one of those people who was negative about someone giving someone a second chance, but that's only because like I've seen the things that person has done, and I haven't seen anything for that person to prove to get another chance. Because you know how it all is, like when you guys break up, one glows up, and then you see that person shining, and then you're like, oh, I want her back, or I want him back, and then you just say like, I was wrong, give me a second chance. And because that person is still new to like being like single and like getting better, that she's still gonna be like, okay, well maybe, but like that's only for some people. But yeah, I need to see proof in order to give you a second chance.
Kind of like growth, or like like if you see that it's not like a pattern, then like I think that's something to give someone a second chance.
Yeah, and like that's kind of a hard topic, but I feel like I haven't experienced it, so I might not be saying the right things, but if I was to be cheated on, I feel like I will quickly fall out of love with them, because you kind of just like get blindsided in a way, like how like out of nowhere. And so like I'll still love the guy, like whoever I'm with, and if he ever does that, I'll still love him, but I'm gonna like fall out of love with him, and sooner or later, if he, like how Tina says, he doesn't prove that he does love me back or wants a second chance, then I'm not gonna be giving it to him. So yeah, like you have to prove it to me, and not just prove it to me that like you've changed, but prove to me like by showing me that I can fall back in love with you. Because I don't know, I feel like it's kind of hard for someone like you know, they're your significant other. You've gone through so many good moments, and how can one negative thing impact you so much? But I don't know. I just feel like once someone does something like that to you, it's just they could always do it again. So that trust is already broken. And yeah, like if there's no trust, then how can you learn to love someone?
Yeah.
So yeah, proving yourself is a lot. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if you trust this guy, like, you give him all your trust and love, and he, like, goes and be with somebody else, like, that would, like, for me, that'd be very devastating. And, like, wow, like, I, like, gave you all of my feelings, or, you know, and, like, my trust, and you kind of, like, stab me in the back by...
Because that's a lot of vulnerability shown to that person, and for them to just be like, oh, I'm going to go cheat on you with this person.
It's going to take a lot to really prove.
Yeah.
But I was just, if you wanted to add anything, Kalina.
No, I think it's kind of just like going off of what Paying said, like, because it takes a lot of time to build trust, and it's very easy to break that trust. So, like, once you break that trust, you're going to have to start from scratch to build it up again, and that's going to take a lot of time and effort if a second chance is wanted.
I think, like, that kind of just goes back to, like, you know, if you guys were friends before and then got into a relationship and then you cheated, like, you need to gain trust back and build that friendship. We can't just go back to where we left off, you know, because that's too hard. Like, I can't just, like, forget what just happened, you know?
Yeah. Something else that I was also, like, wanted to talk with you guys is, like, how the world would view relationships, as in, like, and versus, like, what you think. So, like, for example, I know, like, for some people, it's, like, you can go ahead and date as many guys you want before you find the perfect one, or, you know, those kind of things. I'm, like, blinking out right now.
Or like how people say, like, you can date, you don't have to stay with them forever. Like, you know how some people stay, like want to date for marriage. Yeah, like, keep your options open even if you're dating, because you don't know if you're always going to be with them. Do you mean like that?
Yeah.
I think people are misunderstanding or miswording that,
Or how they're defining, like, relationships.
Yeah, because, or, like, dating.
Or
because,
dating,
like, dating is dating. If you're together with someone, you can say, like, you're together with someone. But, like, I remember this because, like, one of the lessons that we were taught at church, like, the lesson was, like, you know, you can date many people, like, have options, but that dating kind of sounds weird. So I think, like, instead of saying that, like, we need to say, like, get to know people, have friends, you know, because I thought that's what that meant. But, like, I know what he was trying to mean too, but, and, like, what other people might think it would be. But for me, I define it as, okay, yeah, I'm going to date multiple people. I'm going to get to know multiple people. I'm not going to be like, yeah, we're dating, we're exclusive or whatever. But it's, like, getting to know people and just building friendships. And then from there, if there is, like, interest showing, then you can court and, like, pursue that person or whatever.
I remember being really upset at one of my guy friends because he was talking. No, I was upset at the guy I was talking to because we were just talking. We weren't dating, but I was only interested in him. But I found out that like, at the same time, he was like, we're catching up, getting to know each other. He was also doing that with other people. And I was kind of, like, upset by that because I was like, I'm not doing that to him. Like, when I'm talking to him and I'm interested, I only talk to him. And, like, I didn't have other guys, but I would drop other guys to talk to the one I'm interested in. And so I was frustrated, and I talked to one of my good guy friends, and I was like, man, like, can you believe him? Like, he would say all these sweet things, like, go out, like, want to, like, do a couple stuff, but all of a sudden he wants to do that with other girls. And then my guy friend was like, well, I mean, he's still single. Like, he's not... He doesn't have, like, what's it called? Like, he doesn't have a duty to, like, stick with you.
Yeah,
that's not the word.
Like, attachment.
Yeah, like, he's not committed to you. Like, he's still single. Like, you guys are just interested in each other. And that was when I was like, oh, okay, you know what? Maybe I should make myself clear when I first start off talking to someone. Because, like Tina said, there's some people that say dating is like, oh, I'm dating a few people. Like, you're getting to know a few people.
Yeah.
But if I see it differently, then, like, now I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, if I'm not feeling interested, I'm just like, I'm not interested, right? Or just to let them know right away. And that, like, what I'm expecting. And, like, if he talks to me, then I hope it's just to me. Because I'm a very sensitive person.
Yeah.
So
Me too. I think we all are.
Yeah, I
so
think we all are.
like knowing that I'm an option, it would hurt because I don't have options like that.
Yeah.
So that's just how I would feel. But like, people can do whatever they want as long as it works for them. But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they choose who they get to hurt, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to add, like, even though, like, this is something that people do, like, obviously we know people who dates one person and they marry that person and they, like, date for, like, 7 years. So, I mean, like, you do whatever you want, just be careful. Yeah, because it just really depends on you then.
Yeah. What do you, about, like, do you guys think people should be dating to have, like, marriage in mind, or just, like, what do you guys think? Or, like, it doesn't need to be, like, with that exact person, but, like, they're dating because one day they want to, actually be married.
I feel like it would, like, depend on the age. Because if you're
Of course.
high school and trying to get, like, try to start dating for marriage, it's kind of take a step back and see, like, how much time that is. But
Like,
if you're
being
kind
a
of...
little bit more realistic about it.
Being more realistic about the relationship. If you're at that age where you are and you are ready for marriage, then you should start looking for somebody with marriage in mind. Because I know, like that dating for experience. So you know what you want to find in guys. I'm not against that. I think it makes sense. Because then you kind of pick out traits. Okay, like, I don't blend well with this type of person, so I'm not gonna want to be with this. Well, yeah, I mean, save all of those experiences for the marriage you have in mind.
Yeah, and like going off of that, if I am the type of person that says I want to date to marry him, but how am I going to know that he's the perfect fit if I don't even know what like being in a relationship is like? So that's where it's kind of tricky. And I guess maybe, like, for me, okay, so like how Tina was saying, dating means getting to know people. I consider that the talking stage. Like, oh, we're talking to each other, like, we're, as people would say, exclusive. That is where I get to know them, they get to know me as a person, and if we would fit well as a couple, and maybe like more than that. And if I really do think that this dude is like, okay, yeah, wow, I don't ever want to leave this guy, like, that is where I would, like, seriously consider dating. But because that's where I can see where people who date for such a short amount of time get married, like, right away. That's where I can see, like, oh yeah, like, I mean, they've known each other for forever. It's just that the boyfriend girlfriend title is just super new, like, to their relationship. So that's where I'm, like, not too heavy on labels and stuff like that. It really depends on the couple themselves.
Because I'm just, like, thinking back, because, like, when we're getting to know, when TJ and I are getting to know each other, I think that's, like, when I start to realize, oh, maybe I do like this guy, and then we would start dating. And then when we're in our dating phase, like, things that I thought about were like, okay, so now we're dating, and, like, we talk about our future a lot. So, like, I would always think, like, does it line up with my own future, with what I want for myself too? And do we both want kids? Do we, like, how, like, we talk about these things, and, like, I think that really helps me, like, oh, I think, like, he might be someone that I would potentially marry, because I feel like our values and what we want in life kind of, like, almost lined up. And I think that really, like, having that conversation and like thinking about it myself really helped me to like I, like, even before we dated, because I knew that I wanted, if I go into a relationship, then I want to eventually marry once we are dating. But I know people, they just date just to date, they don't really think about marriage. But, like, for me, I think it's very important to, in my dating phase, to think about, like, should I continue dating this guy because I want to marry him? Because there's really two ways. You can either marry or break up, or stay together forever and that dating phase, you know? And so I was kind of always afraid of that too, because I'm like, man, like we were good friends before. If I break up with this guy because it doesn't work, then like, are we gonna be friends? Like we were I honestly, I was like so worried about that. But I think in the end, I'm like, really, it goes two way. We either together or we're not. And like, as we talked more, it really like, wow, like I think I'm gonna marry him. And what do you know? We're engaged now. So
yeah, that's like me too. Like I agree with like Paying and you, Fanola. Yeah, like I don't date. I'm not dating, but like I date with the intention of marriage. But like that's when like you date, you get to know that person, and then like oh maybe like I do see a future with this person. Then like that's a conversation with your significant other where you're like, hey, I think I really like you, and I think we could build like a future together. And that's where like I'm going to date you now from now on for marriage.
Yeah. So I think at some point, like, you have to really think about, I guess for everybody it's different, and like timing too, like if it's a good time, like you're both financially able to be married. But I think for at some point, like you do have to think about like you're gonna keep going and be in this because in relationships, again, Kalina talked about it earlier, you put a lot of time and effort in it too, because again, like you're not thinking just about yourself, but like also your significant other. And so I feel like at some point, like you really have to ask yourself, like, are you and your significant other too, like if you're gonna go further than dating, or like I don't know, just continue. And some people are good with like dating for a long time, and that's totally cool too. But I feel like personally, like I would need to, at some point, I can't be dating forever. Yeah, because I want to have a family.
Yeah, like those people who date for 10 years and they just get engaged or married. It's your life, so congrats, like finally. But like, who am I to be like, oh my gosh, like finally you guys are getting married? But
it's all about timing too. Like I understand for some couples it's just like not the right time. But I personally I can't date for 10 years.
Yeah. It almost would have been 10 years.
Honestly, yeah.
We did another 5.
6 years.
But, with that being said, I was just also curious, when you're in a relationship, because I know a lot of you guys are not in a relationship yet, what would you your ideal date would be? Like, what would you want?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So also for your future boyfriends out there, one day, if they ever listen to this, they'll have an idea.
Oh my gosh. Dude, this question makes me so excited. But okay, I'll go first. I really want to have like a date where we run and dance in the rain. Because like I really enjoy rain. I don't know what it is. Like I just love rain. And I've always just wanted to dance and run and get dirty in the mud and in the rain together.
So romantic.
Yeah, and then either before or after this, probably like before, or I don't know actually. But I would also like to just stargaze.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. But I really want the rainy date.
Yeah.
I thought amusement park dates would be fun.
I love
just
that.
so we can go on some scary rides together and be oh my gosh, that was scary, or that was really fun. Kind of just get that adrenaline going.
Yeah.
But also I thought it would be fun if it was go to a bookstore or library and
of course
read
the writer in there.
And it'll be so fun. And then if you guys read the same book and you're kind of on the same page, you'll be like, oh my gosh, did you read this page?
Oh my god,
that would be so much fun. Or I even just have a date where you buy each other a book and then you kind of exchange the book and read, and when you come back together, you guys discuss what you guys actually read in the book.
Wow.
That's cute. Wow. I never thought about that.
Okay. I don't know. For me, I said it earlier, but something very spontaneous. I don't know. It's just I don't know. But I did think about amusement park. When I think about it, just something that helps me come out of my shell a bit and feel more comfortable. And as much as I hate to say it, maybe like a haunted house. Like, oh my gosh, like I hate it. Like they literally breathe down my shoulder and they target me because they know I'm a weak. Yeah. I'm the weak link in the group. Like, oh my god. But that's where maybe he could see, you know, more of me and like. If like he enjoys being with me too, or like if he's scared, I'm like, oh yeah, he's the weak link now, you know, like like things like that where we can just come out of our shell a bit more and just be competitive. I don't know, snow tubing and like and like I remember I wouldn't call it a date, but one of my guy friends, he was sad or whatever, and he picked me up. And he didn't know what to do, so I was like, "Oh, we can go shop, like we can go drive around and you know, like night cruises and just talk." And we ended up driving around my old neighborhood, and I would tell him things like, "Oh, I used to walk there. Oh, this happened there." And he's like, "Oh, that's the shop that I've always wanted to go into." From the past. Yeah. And I was like, "That's the shop I've always wanted to go to, but I never got the chance because I moved." And he's like, "Well, let's go right now then." And we ended up going. I love the store. I loved it so much. But yeah, just like things like that where it's just on the spot and very sentimental.
Yeah,
oh goodness,
those are really good.
We're such romantic.
I know. My ideal date. I'm just kidding. I think we actually like, honestly, we've probably done it. We've already did it because like one of my, I guess I'll say favorite dates because it's pretty much my ideal date too. Is we both like for most of our date actually we go to the arcade a lot, and so I really just enjoy just like having fun and spending like that time together. Even though like I suck at playing arcade games sometimes, but like it's just more enjoyable when we do it together. And so that's my like ideal date.
Yeah, you've done that a lot.
Yeah, we've done a whole lot. Like, but now that we're in quarantine, you know, I can't really do that. So board games it is, you know, or PC games. But thanks for listening in and taking time with us today. Please tune into our next episode when it's up. And remember to follow A Moment of Boba on social media for the latest on our lives. Until next time.